It's the final few seconds before the lights go out and the race to the podium begins. You know this battle will be won off the track as well as on it. You've studied your tactics, anticipated every move like a grandmaster. You've researched and analysed, modified and fine-tuned to perfection. You have honed your instincts to give you an edge over your rivals. Your drivers focused, your team ready. The championship in the balance. First past the checkered flag, the goal. Epic victory or ultimate failure. There is only a heartbeat between them. Motorsport Manager. Take control.
Hello there, Thotimix here, and you're now looking at the loading screen for Motorsport Manager. Came out a few years ago, Sega Play Sport production, and in my opinion this is one of the best sports simulations out there. It's not on the level of FM or whatnot, but it's pretty darn good, obviously the best racing one, and I found it really interesting. What's going to be different about my approach to this is, one, I'm going to do it in a completionist fashion, meaning I'm going to go through all the challenges first as sort of an entrance exam, and then I'm going to start a career. Got a special challenge set up for that. I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up, not through one, but through all three disciplines eventually. And that'll show off how it looks in a mature tour eventually with a bunch of new drivers that aren't there at the present. Not sure exactly how that's all going to work, but that's what we're going to go for. Another thing I should mention is that some of the races can get really long. And I'm going to also experiment with a different approach of, I'm going to be doing two playlists for this. One is going to include everything. I don't like speeding up the races, doing time compression type stuff. I want to experience it as it comes. Again, that's my deal. That's how I do things. But I'm also going to have a light version, which is going to skip through a fair amount of things and just sort of hit like the pit stops, critical moments in the race. Probably won't have the practice sessions on that one, that kind of thing. And so here we are at the main menu, and we're going to check in the preferences here real quick. And we've got a 2D and a 3D mode. 2D is good for people who don't have great computers. Mine isn't fantastic, but thankfully it is robust enough to handle this game. We've got all of your usual details and whatnot. Quality, blah, 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 blah. What I'm more interested in over here is the game settings, and keep the race strategy on realistic. And here's a description for that. AI teams will make fewer mistakes with their pit strategies, making the game more difficult. Recommended for experienced players only. I'm not that experienced, but that's what we're going to go with. Notice I've set up my preferences here. Euros, and then basically the metric system. I'm actually not familiar with the metric system. Use imperial units myself, but I think that makes the most sense for the place that we're going to be driving. And then the default difficulty is that it ships with is actually -2, slightly on the easy side. And the reason for that, apparently, is that they when they changed in one of the patches, they changed to do the realistic strategy for AI drivers doing better pit stops and whatnot. They changed this to -2 so that the overall difficulty would be fine. My understanding is this just affects lap times, higher you boost it, the better AI lap times there are. So we're gonna go with the standard. We're not trying to make it overly difficult. We just want it to be sensibly difficult. And then the session length again is going to be long. The shorter races are more chaotic, and that's what you'll find in most. Like, I could not find a single YouTube career that had the long session length. Most of them start out as short, or they go medium and they switch to short, just to make things happen faster. And there's a lot to be said for that, but it's just not my style. So that's what we're going to go with. The super speed is also worth looking into, because you can control all sorts of things as far as like when you are speeding up the race, when does that interrupt, at what point, etc. And again, we're not going to be using that option, but it's good to recognize that it's there. Okay, so we're going to get on with the challenges. And again, this is the entrance exam. I'm going to prove myself worthy of starting a full career. And I'm not talking about the career challenges over here, which are just basically take a low-ranking car and win the title. I'm talking about these from the Challenge DLC. And if I can beat, which I'm sure I will eventually, all 3 tiers, then I will be set to start my career. So, Rookie. Even legends have to start somewhere. A mixture of race and season challenges. The rookie level has something for everyone. As we go through this, some of them are a single race, some of them are several races, some of them are a full season, maybe 12, 15 races in some of the bigger ones. So some of them are going to take quite a while. And here's our first set. So, Sprinkler Savvy, we're going to do that one first. 1 race duration, difficulty easy. It's the only one that has difficulty of easy. We're going to start with the training wheels firmly fastened. This season's controversial introduction of race sprinklers has taken most of the teams by surprise. Even with a back-of-the-table car, an adaptable driver, and a respectable pit crew, Dragon Race Team have lucked into first place in the team's championship. With 1 race left, the chairman wants one of his drivers to place 3rd or above to solidify Dragon's supposed to be ascent, not accent. A little typo there, to greatness. So we need a driver to finish 3rd or above. We'll get a player accessory for new careers if we do that, and it's a 1 race duration. We've got fighting for 5th, 1 race medium difficulty. Last race of the WMC, and we've got to win the driver's title. Up in Flames is the first multi-race one. It's a 5-race deal. Star Driver has been involved in a horrible crash, and we've got to do well enough for him to win the title after he returns, so that's a bit of a handicap. Breaking Point, also medium. This is back to 1 race difficulty. And we've basically just got to have one of our drivers finish in first, but they're having brake problems on their car, so we got a reliability issue there to deal with. And then Daddy's Boy, medium difficulty. This is a 12-race full season, and we got a bit of nepotism going on in this one. Chairman Bobby Stone put his son in the number 1 seat. You've got to win the title, the team's title, but you can't leave and you can't fire the spoiled little kid, so that's what's coming ahead of us. Back up to today's adventure, Sprinkler Savvy. These tips at the bottom, of course, are all very useful, particularly if you're new to the game. We are at Black Sea GP. And then they're going to tell us again about all the details for the challenge. Got the race sprinklers here again. Same information we've seen before. And here we are in the race. It does not, there's no practice, no qualifying in this challenge. Just dumps us straight on into the race itself. And I'm just going to, since this is basically the tutorial race anyway, we're just going to take a look around, show what we're doing, what the races are like in Motorsport Manager. We can zoom in, zoom out some. There are mods that let you zoom in even further, but we can view from any angle really. Up here we've got our standings, and it shows various information, what tires, name of the driver, gap, what the gap is, and you can see our challenge objective there is to get up into third. We're starting 16th and 20th, so we are definitely not starting in great position. There's the Drivers' Championship standings. We can see we've got Nick Chu in fourth, and Baotang actually leading the championship right now. And this includes their current position in this race. And we've got a 2-point edge on Eastwood Motorsport in the Team Cup, and we've got our tire history here. There's your current objective right there. We've got our temperature. Looks like it's going to remain steady, be a little bit cloudy, sometimes sunny, but fairly cool. The water on the track looks like we're dry for the foreseeable future. Track grip is expected to gradually increase. And then we can check out the data center. And this is all kinds of information, particularly as the race progresses. We'll track positions, we've got live timings, how we're doing in various sectors and around the whole course. We've got, what tires they've used, the tire sets that each team has available. We've got pit stops, gaps, lap charts. There's all kinds of information. We're not going to need to be overly concerned with that, particularly in this race, but again, you've got the team and driver standings, same deal here that we saw previously, and the event results, and this just shows we've done. This is the practice. So we've got the practice results, which were pre-done for us in this scenario. No data for the race because we're still working on it. Let's go back to the action. And this, of course, is your main menu thing. We can save, load, blah, 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 restart the challenge. We can re-see our details anytime we want. Down here for the drivers, first of all, we've got Tang. The 6.2 here is his current form out of 10. That's how well he's driving. He's looking like he's above average, only 5.3 for Chu, so just about average there. And then this blue thing here gives us details. Good with super soft tires, they won't wear as much. Pit stops will be a second faster. Panics in the first lap, and yet he's leading the board. That's nice. -4 overall is a huge penalty. But after that, he'll do pretty well because he's got a +1 to everything. He's got passion for racing. So this shows our gaps to the car in front and back. We've got our condition. 6 parts on each car, and it shows the bar for how much damage they can take, reliability there. See, the engine's a little weak. And then once they get into the red, which will eventually happen over time, the parts are a lot more likely to break down completely, and we don't want that. So it's sort of a balance in how hard you want to push the car. The strategy is really vital here. The driving style, push to overtake and make risky choices, but the tire wear drop quickly. And then this will sort of be the above average option. We'll start making bold choices, get in front, tire wear degrades quicker. It's not quite as aggressive as attack. Neutral is neutral. It's average tire wear. Conserve, they'll accept some loss of time to slow down the tire wear, and then back up is actually you're tactically trying to hold up cars behind you, and that can be important. Trying to get your teammate some space ahead lowers the tire wear. And similar for the engine modes, pushes the engine to its limits, and fuel is going to get used quickly. Only use that when you're planning to overtake someone. High, again, the above average. Medium is the average balanced speed and fuel burn, and low lowers the car's speed, also conserves fuel. Now, the more aggressively you drive, the more wear is going to come on your components for the car also. So that has to be taken into account along with the fuel. And then up at top, if you want to let the second driver pass you, you just do the allow teammate through option. And then down here, we've got readout for the tire wear. Condition of our tires, they'll wear faster, again, if the strategy is intense. And we've got the temperature gauge there. Higher the temperature, more strain is put on the tire. And as they point out, tires heat up at different air temperatures. Basically, cooler weather, you can get away with softer tires. The hotter the weather is, the more you need to go with a harder tire that's not going to burn up right away. And then here's our fuel, which you got the indicator of your strategy there, and also how many laps you can make at the standard speed. So to begin races, pretty much want to go all out. And the reason for that is basically that when you are in the middle of the pack, cars close together, you don't want to let any opportunity to pass go. And later on, when the cars spread out, it's much more difficult to get by the cars that are ahead of you. So you want to move up as quickly as you can at the beginning. Pretty vital basic strategy. So that's what we're going to go with. Notice we got the 2D mode here also, and that it's basically the same thing. You just don't have the car graphics. The track is shown less detail, things like that. So now we're gonna come back out here, and we are ready to get underway. Let's see how we do. Looking at Chu here, he's got high focus, so he's not going to lose concentration much. But he's not. He's kind of an idiot. Nobody told me not to juggle the brake discs. Haha, that's hilarious. And we appear to be hanging out at the back despite our best efforts. Interesting that Chu is going with the soft tires while Tang is on the medium tires. So we might expect Chu to do a little better at moving up. And of course we can always switch Santa Ana and Predator in first place. And we're moving up a little bit here, but not much. I'm going to zoom in. Generally, I will push things to the max for about 2 laps on most tracks. Depending on what you can get away with, but you can see Chu's tires especially are already getting a bit warm. I don't think I can keep pushing it. I can't keep pushing them that hard very often. We're going to move the tires down to neutral. With Tang's engine issues, we'll move him down to high and neutral. Let's see how that sorts out for a while. Mello has overtaken Inez Santa Ana, getting in first place, but chews up to 6th. We need to get 3rd to complete the challenge, so 5th now. Tang is not doing as well. You can see I think our tires have stabilized. I'm going to have Chu go down to push here. And one of the things you want to do is you want to match your fuel usage to how long your tires are going to last. And so we're definitely going to pit before we run out of fuel, but the tires aren't going to last that long. It's going to last a little bit longer over here. Still a lot of cars around him, so I still want to try to push. Engine's gone down a little bit, not that much. So Chu is battling to get up into that top 3. Generally speaking, I like to do mostly, I think about the medium zoom level is the best, at least for my preference. Had 3rd place for a moment, lost it, got it back. Temperature on the tires is dropping. I could push them a little harder, but I want to get as much out of these as I can. Pit time is usually, you want to be coming in by the time you hit 25%, because then that's when your tires really visibly go red, the performance is going to drop. The other thing about it is the softer tires drop in performance faster. Boy, look at that. Out of the turn there. But like medium tires don't drop as far, the performance doesn't drop as fast. Softer ones will start faster, but performance drops faster. So that's something to keep in mind from the strategy point of view. Mello is really escaping the field here, but I'm going to go ahead and push for this last lap because I think he's going to come in. Okay. We've got 20 laps left, so if we want to pit twice, we need to get 10 laps out of each. And we're not going to quite do that on the soft tires. I prefer not to pit 3 times, so what I'm going to try to do is go mediums, take a little cautious during this next stretch, and then try to go for a faster finish. So if I want to get close to 12, then I'll take a look at my fuel. Yep, not going to get 12, but we'll fill up all the way. And still looking real good here. And you can see that normally the risk penalty is a lot more than that for going fast. I think it's probably intentionally turned down for this challenge, the first challenge. But I'm definitely going to go with the fast one because 3-second gain for a tiny increase in risk. Then we get our estimate on where we'll come out. But again, that's assuming based on who's already made pit decisions. And it just shows the cars that are on your team or around you. Or it can show just your drivers on our little mini map here. So Average time just under 123, and we're not real fond of our setup. 67%, not impressive. So Chu's going to come in. Let's ride along with Tang for a while. And I think I want to push him up on the tires also. But I need to conserve his engine more. I'm going to keep it up now until he pits, but then I'm definitely going to want to drop him down. See Chu's tires getting into the red, but he is going into the pit. Pretty good pit stop there, just under 13 seconds, and we're going to stick with the neutral setting there. Might push the tires a little more later. Goal is to get the full 10-11 laps out of those tires. Comes out in the 16th, but that of course will change. And I think we can get one more lap out of Tang here. $18 laps for him. Still want to come in for mediums. Same deal. Fill up all the way. And really want to take it easy for him because that engine's gradually declining. Again, the fast pit stop thinks that they'll be 15th coming out. Chu now up to 13th with a couple other drivers pitting, but we've got several up here. You can see by their tires they're going to be coming in soon, and he'll be able to make up some ground. That's when we're going to find out where we really are here. About a third of the way through. And again, only Mello has pitted and is ahead of us. He's on medium tires also. He's less than 5 seconds ahead. And here's Bao Tang's pit stop. Set him to neutral as he comes out. So we're 6th and 10th. With the top 4 drivers still not going in the pits. So if Chu passes them, he'll be second. And it looks like he's slowly gaining on Mello. Yep. Three of them have gone in, and we are now 4th because we're second or so behind Beauchamp. Tire's starting to get a little cool. I gotta push him a little bit more. Probably have to alternate that back and forth. Probably want to push the engine at the same time. And Ja has gone in, so we are now going to be up to... Tang is struggling back there, 13th, but Chu is up to 3rd. He's driving fairly well there at a 6.6. He's got a decent chance to contend for the win here, but staying in the top 3, 7-second lead, I'm feeling very confident about that. He's continuing to gain ground. Less than 2 seconds off the leader now. And we're gonna get a little more aggressive here. Oh, I don't want to bump up the engine. Not with the way his engine's looking. Yeah, I'd say it's going down gradually. Chew's still looking okay. Halfway through the race, 1.5 off the lead and gaining constantly. Three cars now within about half a second of each other. Question is, can Chew get ahead of them? And there's Beauchamp moving in front. He's going to try to run away with this now. Go down to neutral, see what I can sneak out of these tires before the next pit stop. See, everything still looks good with the track. It's always good to keep checking weather. I've waited too long between doing it. It's 6-7 degrees, pretty much everything's holding steady. No surprises. Tang up to 11th. And he said no surprises. This is why they call this sprinkler savvy. Pause here for a second. And now we've got this, it's going to be pretty wet soon, situation. I'm going to go one more lap as is, but then we're definitely going to want to come in. I honestly don't know that Tang wants to wait that long, because he's further back on the track. I'll have him wait it out too. Might be wrong in doing that. Chew's gonna pit. Now the question is, intermediates or wets? The two wet style tires. You can see the little diagram there of you want to use them when there's enough water to equal that solid blue. So you pretty much want wet if the track's, in the upper quarter there, otherwise you want intermediates. And it looks like the majority of the time we're going to be in the intermediate range. But it's a judgment call. Do you want the intermediates or the wets? And it's really 50-50 here. But I'm going to go intermediates. And we want enough fuel to finish. So we want 10. Go with 9.5 there and just be fairly careful on how hard we push it. I think our parts are good to finish. The Gearbox here ain't looking too hot, but it's gonna handle it. Got enough life in the tires, you might as well really push them before the end of this lap. Yeah, you've been stuck behind Mello for 3 laps, but that's not a bad place to be, actually. I'm going to be cautious. I'm going to try to ride it out. If we try to repair the engine, yeah, 20 seconds. I'd rather avoid that if I can. So the goal is to make this our final pit stop, run the rest of the way, keep Chu in third, because Tang might be the points leader for the season, but he's not really cutting it today. So Chu gets by Mello before he comes in. See, we got Arbelo out here on wets. Most of the others chose inters, so the drivers basically agreed with me. And Chu is tops among the drivers who came in. Beauchamp still out there. There's a lot of water on the track, so the longer they stay out there, the more trouble they're going to be in. Let's not be attacking in those tires. Thank you. So both drivers say they have extra fuel, so they can push if they want. 8, 9 laps to go. I think I'm good enough. I'll go up to high. Be a little more aggressive here. Here comes more drivers in, but a bunch of them going wets. We're staying on inters. The field's pretty... And there we go. Moving past Beauchamp, because our tires are better for these conditions. Question is, if it gets super wet, and it looks like it's going to for a little bit there, then we could be in trouble. Because then their tires will be outperforming ours. But for now, I like where we're at. And even though I've got the extra fuel, I'm not pushing with Kang because of that engine. He's just got to try to last this out. And he's up to 6th. So he's not doing too shabby himself. We have opened up a lead of pushing 3 seconds now. I need to start pushing the tires harder too, because they're cooling down too much. So looking very good here for Chu. Nick Chu perhaps about to, let's see what that would do for him. He'd be up to 4th place. Tang would finish 2nd, and we'd win easily in the team's competition. That's what we're looking at right now. Ride with Tang for a little bit. Arbelo is in front of him in 5th, but Arbelo is pulling away. Behind him, we've got Gerard, and slowly catching up, but no, we are not going to get the cars out on wet tires. No, you don't need a pit for wets. Now, it is just wet enough, but it's going to go down later, and the question here is it worth coming in? If you come in, you lose that pit time. Are we going to gain enough time on the track with wet tires over intermediates? And the answer, I'm pretty sure, is no, because it's only going to be wet for a few laps. So But that's the kind of, it's the judgment calls you have to make. Chu still in the lead, and lead almost up to 4 seconds, but it is falling now as Beauchamp's wet tires are now better than our Inters. And you can see some more people wanting. Go ahead. Boy, Gerard's passed already. He is really falling back through the pack on those Inters. A lot of people going in for wets. We are not. We're just going to ride it out. And looks like the next couple laps are going to be the worst part of it. We've only got 4 laps left. I like where Chu's sitting on the tire wear. He's going to have to try to hold off Beauchamp, and I don't know if he can, but finishing at least 3rd should be a relative no-brainer. And there it goes. Down to 2nd. Oh well. A 10-second lead on Arbeloa. That's not going away. So, 2nd place, I can live with that. And the sprinklers are being turned off. So we should start to dry out here at the end. Tire's getting a bit warm. I don't see any reason to push them. Do need to push more on our tangs though. Yeah, his engine is right there, is close to the danger zone. Gonna make it, but that is tight. Race cars are worthless without reliable parts. And it looks like it's dried out just enough now. We're starting to make up ground on Beauchamp. William Evans retires with mechanical problems. He was already way back though. Yep, we are slowly making up ground here in the final lap on Beauchamp. We're not going to get close. But again, you can see the weather switch. Track's drying out. The more it dries out, the better our Inters are, up to a point. Gained almost a second back on them. That lead was up close to 7 seconds, so no real chance to close it off. And Chu comes in to finish 2nd. Beauchamp wins for Gruda Racing. Chu takes his 2nd place. And that should be enough. We needed 3rd, we got 2nd. Tang is less impressed with the 7th place finish for the individual point standing leader. That's quite understandable, and he's not going to win the championship now, I don't think. No, he's down to 3rd. We're going to finish 3rd and 4th, so we don't have a championship driver, but we don't have a championship team either. That's funny. We're not actually going to win the championship. Of course, that wasn't our goal. Our goal was to simply finish 3rd or better. And now we'll get our close-up of Beauchamp, Buda's championship racer. Alright, and then we get to see all of our wonderful data at the end of the race. Of course, the event results, that's what matters. 4.6 seconds behind. Tang finishes 7th. Almost half a minute behind. Then I think it's fun to watch the position. I mean, you can see there's all kinds of detail here. 16th, 17th, you can see throughout the race. These are the laps across the top. You can see Chu was 3rd, he bounced down, he came back up, he was 1st. And the pit stops, how long everything took. There's just so much information here, but for our purposes, we need to finish 3rd, we got 2nd, we're happy, we're moving on. Antonov broke the rules, demoted 2 spots. Evans retired. Wow, look at Santa Ana. Was sitting on the pole position, finished only ahead of her teammate, and then was demoted below her teammate. That's painful. Jean-François Beauchamp. Well done. A little over 37 minutes. And then our official standings. We get our lovely news blurb. Beauchamp definitely pushed to his limits during the race in Black Sea, pulling off a number of daring overtaking maneuvers. The Garuda Racing driver eventually came out on top, with Chu finishing 2nd and Arbeloa rounding out the podium. Winning Garuda Racing boss Max Newman collected the team's trophy and looked delighted as he downed the champagne. Victor Keller for UKSN 412-16. And some of the social media comments they're repetitive, but they're kind of amusing. Cavalcante says, I'll be up there with you soon. Dude. Lame practice session, but we did alright in the race. And they'll comment on other drivers. Congratulations, we have won. We completed the challenge. Player accessory available for new career. You've unlocked the zombie face type. How fascinating. Little spoiler here, I will definitely not be using that when it comes time for the career. I don't know, something about having your character look like a zombie just doesn't appeal to me. But, you know, it is the first challenge, so I wouldn't expect the reward to be anything actually particularly cool. Rewards unlocked. Once again, we have completed the challenge. We need to be reminded of this. And there we are. So challenge number 1, Sprinkler Savvy, the first one in the rookie, is in the books. There are still 11 challenges to remain. We will move on to the next rookie challenge in our next episode. Till then, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you'll come back.